Now, Mr. Sowore, I want to take a cue from what Mr. Peter Obi said. He says no one group can change Nigeria alone, and that building bridges, even on easy ones, is necessary. Mr. Sowore, don't you think in politics, democracy is a game of numbers. You make some concessions here and sacrifices. Don't you think that a pragmatic approach would be to work with sometimes strange bedfellows to get to your goal of executive power so that you can make those changes you desire? Because not everyone would think like you or share some of your beliefs and ideologies, and you just play the game of politics like it's called.
Well, first, Peter Obi would not be my ideal philosopher, so I don't know why you are quoting what he said to me. But the truth is that Nigeria has been at this for 65 years of politics of compromise, of strange bedfellows, and very unprincipled characters. And this is where he has left Nigeria, a broken country. And I have no doubt that I don't need to be in bed with strange bedfellows. I cannot be on the bridge that has been built and broken by the same people. These are not bridge builders. These are country and destiny destroyers who have come together. And if you listen or read what I wrote a few days ago, you must have understood. I just didn't reject the coalition. I named names and I put them where they fit in terms of building a coalition that has put Nigeria where it is today. The APC was a coalition. I don't know why we easily forget these things. We have so many coalitions in this country. We have political parties that have, and it's made up of people who have been in power for several years. And Amaechi, for instance, was governor for 8 years. He was Speaker of the House of Assembly at the state level. He was minister for how many years? And you want me to believe that they'll fix Nigeria in another coalition? And people like Malami, the Minister of Justice in this country for 8 years. Peter Obi himself was governor of a state for 8 years. They did nothing. Atiku was a vice president of this country. So this whole excuse or alibi that it is necessary to cover your nose and be in bed with terrible people so that you can fix a country that they broke. And the only thing these people know how to do is to destroy countries. Like I said, just like you have cattle rustlers destroying certain part of the north, you also have destiny rustlers, and then this coalition and the existing coalition that is the ruling party now. And Nigerians forget so quickly. Now, these same characters were the ones that formed this coalition that we're still grappling with. That's the APC. There was Amaechi, El-Rufai, Atiku, and Malami that formed the APC. Most of them, some of them were the CPC part of the APC gang that you haven't recovered from. You and I haven't recovered from, and here we are again. Even Datti, who was the deputy to Obi, because you're mentioning Obi a lot, has said it even during an interview yesterday that the people who are in this coalition are not they're not even the third 11. These are third-rated, selfish, unpatriotic politicians who cannot bring about the narrative, who cannot change the narrative and change the country the way we want it to be fundamentally changed.
You have to admit and give it to Sowore that he has character, he has principle. But what made me laugh as I listened to him here is when he said that Peter Obi will not be his ideal philosopher. It just cracked me up because I just feel like every time Peter Obi's name is mentioned, it sort of it just makes him irate, and when he said that Peter Obi is not his ideal philosopher, I just laughed anyway. But let's get right into the meat of the matter. We've also said here on this channel that as much as Peter Obi is joining the coalition and a lot of Nigerians are behind him, the truth, he has to be careful because these individuals that he's partnering with is exactly what they describe them to be. People of strange bedfellows. That's just the kind of agreement that is going to look like. People whose principles don't align. And whether or not you like Yele Sowore, you have to agree that the principles don't align. And I'll explain this to you why oftentimes when you go into agreement with strange bedfellows or people whose principles don't align with you, it always ends in a bad way. In a few years back, in the United Kingdom, there was an election that brought in David Cameron, but he didn't have the majority. And people were expecting the Liberal Democrat, who had more or less similar principle with the Labour Party, to go into an agreement. But the Liberal Democrat foolishly went into that agreement with the Conservative Party, and it threw the country in turmoil. And from that agreement came the Brexit. That agreement came an increment in tuition fee for the indigenous students. And the country has not recovered from there till now. And this is what the coalition of APCs brought into Nigeria. Similarly, you understand, they've come into power, but they destroyed the country. And going into another coalition again with the same set of people, as Yele described them, people who are unprincipled. Our politicians are unprincipled. You cannot say that Amaechi or Atiku or El-Rufai or even Malami has principle, because these guys jump from one spot to another. I mean, Wike came out yesterday and talked about how Malami killed certain stories and buried them just to protect Amaechi. So you have to understand what it really means here. But again, on the flip side, politics is about numbers. You need to be able to get the number and unseat this politician. But the question is, this arrangement, this coalition, even Peter Obi's former deputy, Datti, Baba-Ahmed, if you watch his interview on two days ago, you'll realize that he wasn't really convinced about the coalition. He wasn't really convinced about the people that this agreement is being formed with. And they asked him the question. Obviously, we knew that was a rhetorical question for him to answer. But he still said the same thing, that the people in the coalition knows the right person to lead the country or the coalition. And he said if it was for Labour Party, he would have said Peter Obi directly, without mincing words. But I want to paint this picture in your heart, in your face, in your head. And I know some of you might have already thought about it this way. Imagine that Peter Obi went into a coalition with Omoyele Sowore, had a sit down, a thorough sit down, regardless of whatever Omoyele Sowore might have said about him, because he said he's never going to go on agreement with Peter Obi. But imagine there was a sit down, and Peter Obi says, you know what, I'll come to AAC, I'll leave Labour Party, and obviously you cannot be my deputy, but I will be the running person on this your political party. But you hold a key role in my administration, what we can use to change the country. And Omoyele Sowore says yes, and they get somebody from the northern part, maybe Datti or somebody else who can bring in the vote from the northern part, northwest, north central, and northeast. And they go ahead in 2027. That's the biggest coalition Nigeria is wishing for. A coalition that has Peter Obi there, and a coalition that has the youth near Omoyele Sowore, and a coalition that can turn out the vote. That's a coalition that you will find so hard to knock down. I know some people have said that Sowore is a move for Bola Tinubu, but there's no evidence to show for that. But the two biggest number of people that can gather the number are the people I've just mentioned. You can see most Nigerians are not really particularly excited about the coalition. But the fact that we want to get rid of APC, which was also formed by the same people, or some of the same people who formed the APC, Atiku, Amaechi, El-Rufai, Malami, the former Attorney General of the Federation. Those are the same people who Omoyele Sowore described as unprincipled people. He called them destroyer of our country. He says the only thing the coalition knows how to do is to destroy the country. And you can see their track records. So again, before we throw away the baby and the bathwater, we have to also remember that Peter Obi needs to be very careful and tread carefully, because if they rigged him out before, the same people in Atiku and all of those that rigged him out before in PDP, they can do it again with this coalition. And you know what? Because of their selfish ambition. Except otherwise, they say this is the only person that we think can knock Bola Tinubu out. As every Nigerian knows. Amaechi is not an option, El-Rufai is not an option, and obviously Atiku is not an option at the moment. The one person that is the option right now is Peter Obi. The question is, what sort of arrangement and agreement will he be making? Will it be similar to what the Liberal Democrats made in England with the Conservative Party? Or will it be one that will have Nigeria centered, so that we don't have unprincipled men leading us again in another administration? So put your thoughts and your comments in the comment section. Let's have our conversation as always. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also recommend this channel to others. I will catch you up in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.